first of all, it is amazing to have you here with us at MCM and obviously here with us in this room. I guess the first and most obvious question, you voice one of the most beloved and timeless shonen protagonists in all of anime.
Yep.
I'm curious if you can give your take on why he is so special and what it is about the show in all its iterations that keeps people coming back.
Well, first of all, I think it's this amazing world that's been created, and it's sort of like, it's astounding to me that it is this big and worldwide. And like the merch alone, it's nuts. But for me, it's been a great journey. And unlike most shows, cartoons especially, it doesn't wind down. This one is wound up and promises to continue. So when I started it, we would make jokes about being old ladies and now I am an old lady doing this. So I just want to give a note that the first convention I ever did was this convention. And there were about 2,500 to 4,000 people. I'm not exactly clear. But it was a small group, and it was, the promos were just coming out. So I'd turn on my TV in the hotel room, and it'd be like, believe it, believe it, believe it. So only, back then, only like true anime fans knew about it. And now it's just mainstream, that's a wild ride.
I have a question. So I grew up watching the Romanian dub of Naruto. Which is crazy, right? But,
I gotta hear that.
I must ask, are you in touch with the other voices of Naruto in different languages? Maybe the Japanese with the Junko Takeuchi?
At one point we were supposed to meet at New York Comic Con, but something came up. So we did a virtual meet and greet, but I would love to meet her. I think she's amazing.
And then I have a follow-up, if that's possible. What do you think is unique about your interpretation of the character? What do you think only you can bring to Naruto?
My voice, I hope. It's a little bit different in that Japanese culturally have some different ways of speaking and emoting that we wouldn't do in the States or England or most places. So I think that I bring that uniqueness to the character. Like, it doesn't feel like I'm not trying to do their voice. I just do my voice.
Thank you.
Naruto has a bunch of ninja skills.
Yeah.
Which one do you think would be most useful in day-to-day life?
Shadow clone jutsu. So I wouldn't have to fly 13 hours. I'd just send a clone.
Also unlimited helpers,
Yeah,
Washing
true.
dishes, you can do one each.
Yeah.
Like a billion of you.
Yeah. I did do an episode where there were about 500 of me. And it was, so they did it on different tracks. So I had to say 10 times, Shadow Clone Jutsu, 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 till 10. And then I had to do it about 6 more times. Or more, maybe. Yeah. There's an episode, you can see it. They're just massive amount of shadow clones. Yeah.
I mean, talking about lines, obviously when fans meet you at conventions, they ask you to do lots of different ones, their favorites.
Yeah.
I'm curious the ones that mean the most to you, though, because I know over the course of the series there are a lot of emotional moments in both your life and the show. Can you talk about the lines that matter to you the most?
Probably, that's my ninja way. Or, I don't run and I don't quit. That's my ninja way. I like that phrase because it can apply to anything. And a lot of people have big emotional connections to this show. And I hear a lot of, wild personal stories. People that, I'll give you an example. There was this one guy at a convention, and he walked up and he said, "Do you remember me?" Which I'm always like, if you're really distinct, I would remember. Or if I met you a lot of times. But, so he said that, and I said, I don't know, I'm sorry. Did I meet you? And he said, yeah. You met me, and I was in a wheelchair, and I'd been in a terrible car accident, and he had all these operations, and he was watching Naruto in the hospital and everything else. And he said, I was that guy, and you said to me then, you're like, you're going to walk again. I know you're going to walk again. And he just watched Naruto for inspiration, and he was right there walking again. So that was kind of a cool one. Yeah. I don't know what the question was. Sorry.
Well, I think it was just, I mean, the lines on the show.
Oh, the lines, yeah.
I mean,
So that's I Don't Quit, that stuff. People say I'm worthless. I'll prove them wrong. And then, of course, there's so many. But those are a couple of my favorites.
and how do you handle endlessly hearing people scream, "Believe it," in your face?
I take it as a compliment. I don't walk around in real life saying it, and nor do most people because they don't know who I am, maybe. But now they know more because I did a lot of promos, so I get recognized a lot more. But yeah, I love it. I love it. They like the show. That's cool. Another fan.
How was it like growing up with a character? We follow Naruto since he's a child. Now he has a child born to himself.
Mm-hmm.
How's that growth of the character impacted your performance?
As a father, no. It was great. I got to go through his childhood with him, and adjust it. Most people, the cartoon character stays the same age. Bart Simpson has been the same age, 23 years, whatever it is. I get to experience all these different emotions and insecurities and triumphs and sadness. So growing up with him was really fun. Shockers on the way, though. There were a couple that I was like, no, like Jiraiya and stuff. Yeah.
So Naruto is of course a part of the big three. What do you consider to be your big three of shows of all time?
Law and Order,
Fate.
Law and Order SVU, Law and Order Criminal Intent. No, two of those three. I don't watch anime, so if you're asking for anime,
Anything, just in general.
anything. Law and Order SUV. I watch a lot of sports. I loved Veep, the show Veep. That was, oh my God. I didn't want it to end. I love Abbott Elementary.
Oh yeah.
That's in my top. Trying to think of what else. Oh, God, there's so many. There's a term that I learned, and it's English origin. And it's called busman's holiday, which I never knew what it meant. I asked my friend who's a music supervisor, pretty big one. She works with Quentin Tarantino a lot. Yeah. And you know how much music is in his movies. So I asked her to come. A friend of mine's daughter is a rapper. And I said, do you and your husband want to come with us to see the rapper? And she goes, busman's holiday. I was like, what does that mean? She goes, when you're the bus driver, you don't take a bus on vacation. So I think for me to watch some anime would be good, but I also feel like it's like, I'd be a little too critical. And it's, I don't watch sci-fi really. Yeah. But I meet everybody. I've met more sci-fi people. I have no idea who they are. And they're huge. You're like, what show are they on? They're like, Star Wars? I don't know.
We've probably got enough time for one question each,
Okay.
maybe more.
Okay.
Talking about live action, I think obviously over the years, people have wondered if we will ever see the live action Naruto film, and it's been adapted. I know you've talked about it before, but can you talk about how close you think they've come and whether or not it's even a good idea for them to ever do it?
Both good questions. I think it will come, but I have had many a whispered phone call from people, and they're like, this company has the rights for it. I got your number from my friend or whatever. Can you tell me a little bit about it? And I'm like, oh my God, how much time do you have? They don't even have enough time to watch the episodes. But so several people have called me over the years, and it never happens. But when it appeared in the trades, and I think after the success of, the what's your name?
One Piece?
Huh?
One Piece, maybe?
The One Piece movie.
And Netflix,
Yeah.
the series also.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're wisening up. I just think it's really hard to tackle. I think it would be a good live action series. I don't know how you condense 900 episodes into a 2.5-hour movie. Maybe someone can figure it out. I don't know. It's sort of like Harry Potter, right? It's like there's a lot. So maybe you do 4 movies. I don't know. But I do think it was just announced that it's going to happen. And that I believe I agree with because it had names. It was in the trades on the front page. So hopefully I'll get to play a peasant. in the background with a hood on or something. I'll be the weird American peasant in the Japanese village. God, please. Dare to dream. That's what I want to do. If they don't put me in there in some weird way, I'll be highly disappointed.
You'll be the extra in the background who just randomly blurts out in the middle of the scene,
Believe it! Yeah. I only said that for 18 episodes. And they told us it was a trademark issue. But I think fans hated it. That's my theory. And they didn't want to hear that anymore. But that's the most asked thing I'm asked to say. But I do have to add the caveat that, we haven't said it in 18 years. But, yeah. Anybody? Yep.
Yeah.
Do you have anyone in mind you'd like to play Naruto?
Oh, God, no.
No.
I don't know who would have those skills. I mean, definitely an Asian person. Let's not screw that up. I would have to be up on the young actors that also have, skills, many skills. Martial arts, all that stuff. And I don't think, he might not be born yet. Yeah. I worked with I did this movie called My Babysitter, the Superhero, and I worked with a lot of stunt guys. They were very, very good. But to get some good actors, along with being exceptional at stunts, is really hard. But I'm sure they'll do a worldwide casting, and it'll probably be I don't know, somebody they found somewhere. Yeah. I can't wait, to be honest. But we're all going to wait. We're going to wait years. How could you film that? It's going to take, once you finally get a script, it's going to take casting and then another year to just, build the sets. Yeah.
Cool. Good time for one more question.
Is it possible to do the video intro with the voice? Is that possible?
Do the voice?
Yeah, for the video intro.
Yeah. Ready? My name is Naruto Uzumaki. Believe it. But really, my name's Maile Flanagan. Believe that. And one last one you said? Did someone?
Does anyone have more? Got one more question. Time for one more.
I guess just very quickly, in terms of the success of anime, you're not necessarily a diehard anime fan yourself, but why do you think...
I'm a diehard fan of Naruto.
Yeah, but why do you think Naruto and shows like it triggered what is now the mainstreaming of anime around the world?
Because it's cool. Before it was sort of, the bastard stepchild of animation. And now they just started a division at Warner Brothers or somewhere where they're doing anime. It was specifically for anime products, original ones. I think it's wildly imaginative. I think it's very much controlled by the creator and not by a network, which makes a big difference. So, it seems to me that a lot of studios just meddle in it. Some vice president will be like, we can't say that, Whereas I feel like in Japan, all the power goes with the creator. And that's what makes it interesting. It doesn't feel censored. We do censor it a little bit in the United States, though. There's a little bit of weirdness going on that they don't want to mess around with. For a long time, every time I had to say Jiraiya in a line, I'd have to redo it with Pervy Sage. No, every time I had to say Pervy Sage, I'd have to say the old man. That's what they came up with. So I'm like, all right. Because I couldn't say pervy. And then one year, 7 years ago, I was like, why am I not doing... I said, we have to do the alt. And they're like, they don't care anymore. I was like, oh, now they don't care. But there are little weird things like that pop up. Yeah, I think it's popular because it got more exposure. And I think, certainly Naruto had a lot to do with that because it's a great show. And Dragon Ball was more niche, and now that's really popular too. And the pandemic made Naruto go through the roof. It's insane. Yeah. And it's weird. You go to Sweden, they'll watch it in English. And, I think I'm the voice in... Last count was about 98 countries, I think. Yeah. So that's kind of weird. I do like hearing other people do the voice, though. I'm going to have to Google that. It's weird, not for Naruto, but it's weird. Where was I? And I turned on the TV and I heard the Spain Spanish version of me. I was like, oh, they sound great. Yeah, they were great. I've heard some that are a little, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think he sounds like that, but that's always funny. when you see a good match that's coming out of your face, it's so weird.